worst of last night behind. And I need to get some peace of mind. And when I need some peace of mind, I know where to find it. By the end of the road. So I walk and I keep on walking. Though the shoes I wear are a mess. As I walk and I keep on walking. Till I'm at the end of the road.
Stay here, no, ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that
Living Pain here. Hope all is well. You can see I got a new angle, new background happen. Reason is I noticed when I do my videos during the day before at night, the lighting is like just sometimes blinding off the side of my face. It's not perfect. And I need all the help I can get to make my mug look a little bit better. Today you can see the hair is all over the place. I just noticed I'm looking at it. The light makes my hair look more gray. I don't know, or maybe it's just gray. Oh man, what to report. Let's start first off with my diet. I'm struggling. You know, you look at it, if you've been watching these videos, I started almost a year ago. Actually, the other day I said, oh, I'm not far away. 360 days, it'll be a year. And I was thinking about it. I go, no, it's 365 days. And then where's the 360? And I had to Google it. And it's actually 365.24 days in a year, which I don't get. Because wouldn't it, after a period of time, you have, or do they have something called a leap year? What is a leap year? I don't know. Anyway, if anyone knows, just put it in the comments and it'll save me a Google search. So getting back, really struggling. So, you know, started, today's going to be day 356, 57. And, you know, it just in the last 2 weeks, if you've been watching, I've been like freaking solid since starting. I went 300 and something days without missing a day of training, and the first 6 months, that's where I had most of my weight loss, probably 30 pounds. And then these last 6 months, it's been about 5 pounds. Today I weighed in at 203.8, so now it jumps to 33 pounds. So essentially, if you look at it, it's been going down for the first 6 months, and if it, you know, the next 6 months it's been going, but not as much as I'd like to. And the reason is lack of discipline on my part in terms of eating. You know, there's no two ways about it. You can't train or exercise yourself thin. It's impossible. Trust me, I've tried it. I've done 16, 17, 18, 20 hours of training in a week in the past and not lost anything. And it's, you know, you just can't do it. The only way to lose weight that I have learned is to eat less. You know, it's modifying your diet, eat less, eat more healthy foods, and keep your calories down. And for me, realistically, I know for me to lose weight, I need my calories in between 800 to 1200. calories. That's where I definitely lose weight. And I know even my mom is the same way. I think she was always talking she could only lose weight at a certain amount of calories. Maybe that's changed, I don't know. But, you know, for me, realistically, I could be down 50 pounds right now if I just had the discipline to not snack, and it's not so much a snacking, to not eat too many calories, to not drink too many calories, i.e. beer, and that's it. And then of course to consistently train, which I have been up until the last couple of weeks. And then it's not like I haven't not trained for a couple of weeks. It's like day off, train, day off, train. And you know, the reason to begin with is the calf and everything. But now I'm feeling like really back to normal. You know, my calves are fine. And now it's like time to get going back. And I know I've lost muscle. And that's the sad part, is even though I'm 203.8 and we can argue it's water and all the rest of it, the reality is it's a little higher because I have lost muscle. And there's no doubt I did some weight training today. Actually, I did 2 workouts. I did a bike for 90 minutes, part of my training. And then I did a weight training session, again, part of my training. And Alice and I had been lifting weights really consistently 3 times a week. And I think we kind of stopped about 2.5 weeks ago, I'm afraid to look. And of course, today you get back and it's like, oh man, you know, you're like way lighter weight than you were doing before. And even at a lighter weight, the reps are hurting when you're pushing it up and all the rest of that stuff. And it's like, oh man, exercise is a zero-sum game. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it doesn't matter if you trained your brains out for 10 years straight. If you take, you know, months off or whatever, your muscles just start, you know, deteriorating. And the one good thing is once you start getting back into it, the muscle does have muscle memory and it'll come back. But it loses quick. It's a zero-sum game. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter if you're poor. It does not matter. What matters is if you train, you keep your muscle, you grow your muscle, and if you don't train, you'll lose your muscle. It's the sad reality of life, unfortunately. So I'm now back into the rebuilding stage. I can move the arms up and down now, which, you know, about half an hour ago I couldn't, which is good. And as you saw in the video, I used my squat rack for the very first time. And it's kind of cool. As you see, it goes against the wall of the house, or the garage rather, and then I can pull it down and put the bar and everything on and do some squats. I usually do lunges. So this first time I did some squats, felt pretty good. And all I gotta do now is, we bought that big mirror, is my son, who's more of the what do you call it? Someone that can use tools and build stuff. He's that guy. I'm not that guy at all. I could tell you stories. I remember, I'll give you an example. One time my son wanted a punching bag, you know, one of those speed bags. And so we bought it, and we set it up in the laundry room. Now, it has to be attached to studs in the wall. And in order for it to work, you know, you're banging on it, it's got to be secure. And so I went to put it up, and of course, you know, I don't know if I had a stud finder or not. So instead I would just, you know, drill a hole. Nope, that's not it. Drill a hole. Nope, that's not a stud. Drill a hole. And this went on. And if you looked at the wall, it started looking like Swiss cheese. Then finally I'd hit one. Oh, found it. So by the time I got it up, it was secure as can be, but the whole wall was just riddled with holes in it. So that's the extent of how good I am at putting stuff together. And of course, never reading the instructions. If you get an IKEA thing or something, which I absolutely hate IKEA. I've been IKEA out. I once had an apartment here in Toronto. I used to travel. I used to live in Winnipeg and then traveled here. We had a facility here, so I'd come out here like on Monday and then leave on Friday. And so it was cheaper to get a condo, and in order to furnish it, I had to get IKEA furniture. So I felt like I was in a high school dorm. Everything in the house was IKEA, the kitchen table, the beds, and of course you try to cheap out. So the beds don't have the greatest mattresses and blah, blah, blah. So by the time we gave up that apartment, I was like, I vowed, and nothing super comfortable, nothing super strong. I vowed, I'm never going to IKEA again. And then of course you feel like cattle when you go to IKEA, follow the arrows, blah, 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 even though they have some shortcuts and stuff like that. So anyway, that's a long way of saying that I have no carpentry sort of abilities, and you definitely would not want me building your house, anything like that. I'd be a great contractor, be really good at telling people what to do and inspecting, but I couldn't do it myself if my life depended on it. I don't know why I got on that track. Oh yeah, because I used my rack today, and if you see it, no, I didn't put that up. My son put that up, and that's why it works. Struggling, like I say, after so many days. This is the trial and tribulation, and even I was thinking about it. It's about a year, and I think I have like 93 subscribers or whatever, and I'm posting all the time. And I noticed that I've watched other people's videos that are doing the weight loss thing and all that. And it's like when the comments, when people start struggling, like, oh man, I can't do it, and this and that. I always find that when someone's got a negative or, is struggling, it's just a hard time for them. It's a dark period. It's amazing how many people make comments and all that stuff, which is great. And then for me, I've been kind of blasting through and getting my stuff done. And maybe it's just me, you know what I mean? But not getting a lot of comments or likes or subscribers, decent, but mind you, at the same time, I do all these videos basically for myself as a little bit of a keep me on track sort of thing. So right now I'm struggling. There's no doubt about it. And I know I'm on that teeter-totter edge that I can, right now it's like you're like this. And if you keep up the negative, oh man, the weight's going to go up. You got to eat properly, it's going to go up, or it's going to go back down. And yesterday I was thinking about it. I was like, dude, you really got to up your game here, because, and I started visualizing back to what I was. And I actually, it was in the past, in the year, and then it was weird because I was watching YouTube, and all of a sudden one of the videos came up, my very first insanity video, and it was, literally I was like 237 pounds, and it was like day one of this, and I didn't start watching it, but there's a little thumbnail of the video, and it had a split screen. So on one side it had me, in my fatness, and on the other side it just had, the insanity guy. And I looked at that picture and I was like, holy crap, man. My gut, you could call it, it wasn't a gut. The best way to describe it is it was a shit locker. It was big, man. And it was hanging over the belt. And I'm like, oh man, how far I've come was the first thing. And then I was like, dude, do you want to really go back there And I'm like, no, I don't. Yet at the same time, I want to have some fun. And my hardest thing that I struggle with is beer. I love beer. It's I've got a genetic disposition to beer. I've got a genetic disposition to drinking lots of beer, being able to, I think, on average, if I sit down and have beers, just a regular bottles of beer, I'd say the average is like 24. You know, I'm not one. I don't have to have beers every day, and I don't even, as you see, I could shut it down for a month. I know I've shut it down for 7 years once when I was younger. Not that long ago, maybe 2012. I shut it down for a couple of years. That's when I dropped. Again, I went down to 190. So, like, my Achilles heel is beer. You know, the old saying, I'm not an alcoholic, but I drink like one. I love that line. It's from Bill Burr, the comedian. I have to give credit. So yeah, I'm struggling. What can I say? You know, you can see that I'm starting to double the videos up. And part of it is that, you know, there's not a lot to report. And because I didn't work out yesterday, my eating wasn't that great yesterday. I think it was at 2,400 calories. I had like 5 beers yesterday. And yeah, and it's and then I'm looking at it going, you know what, maybe I should just be reporting every, you know, second day or third day or whatever, because I'm also getting caught up, or I'm getting a little tied up with my job, which is giving, you know, I've got to get that done, pay the bills, and maybe that's just an excuse. But it, you know, it's all there. But yeah, I'm struggling this right now. And normally when this time of year comes, that's when I get highly motivated. You know, you have those winter blues, and then this time of year, it's starting to get nice out and you can do some running outside and things like that. Normally that's when I have my going up. And right now I'm struggling on that. I was thinking the only thing I can do right now is, even if I'm having some issues with the eating or the drinking of the beer, just keep the training up. Just keep the training up. So week out, you know, I've got now, I think next week will be 18 weeks to the race. And I'm looking, man, that's only like 4.5 months, which is not a long time. And I don't want to suffer during this race. I want to do a respectable job. So it's a matter of, you know, keeping it up. And I was proud of myself today. I did an hour and a half on the bike. So that was probably the longest bike ride I've done in a long time. And then I followed that up with a weight training session and doing abs. And as I mentioned, it's probably been 2.5 weeks since I've done weightlifting. So, you know, I'm going to be sore tomorrow. But I guess I'd rather be sore than have the muscles go down. So anyway, this is my little bit of, this is my pity party. I'm having a pity party for myself right now. And just, you know, trying to get myself back on track and try, you know, this is me, even though I'm not super off track. In my mind I am, you know, especially when you put it, and then of course when you have beers and stuff, I find my face is getting more bloated. I definitely need to do something about my hair. I am going to get a new hairstyle. Alice says I should. I'm too cheap. I go to this one barber. She's great. She's cheap. I think I'm the youngest guy there at 55 years old. You know, most of the guys are older, you know, they're having their pension and everything. So that should tell you right there. I used to go to a guy who Alice goes to, you know, and he's a she higher end sort of guy, and he always did an awesome job on my hair. It was always stylish and all that sort of stuff. But he charges like $35 for a haircut, might be a little more now. This current barber was, I think, at $18. She's moving it up to 20. And, you know, I was looking at it and going, you know, who cares what my hair looks like? And then at the same time, you know, Alice is like, you know, I think you need to change it up a bit, you know, especially as it gets longer. I was looking at some of these photos or videos, and it's like, dude, yeah, you need to up your game on the old haircut sort of stuff. So anyway, that's it for me. That's my pity party. And at least I did, you know, what was it? I don't know, almost what would have been like 2 hours and 20 minutes of exercise today. So, and of course, now I'm going to go out for some lunch. Probably I'll have some beers. And just try to keep those calories down. Over and out, living pain. Have a good one. We will see you tomorrow.